Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Sodanandana Braja Janaranjana Sodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Sodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtottara Shatashri Divine Grace Abhaya Charanaravindha Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON Founderacharya BBT Founderacharya's Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Namacharya Haridas Thakur की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की, ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की, मथुरा धाम की, द्वारकापुरी धाम की, पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, श्रीधाम मायापुर की, गंगामय यमुनामयी की, भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की, समावेत भक्त वृंद की, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuhuvanmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Welcome all of you for the Srimad Bhagavatam class this morning. We are entering into a new chapter today in the 4th canto, 19th chapter, King Prithu's 100 horse sacrifices. Maitreya Uvacha Athadikshata Rajatu Hayamedhashatena Saha Brahmavarte Mano Kshetre Yatra Prachi Saraswati. Maitreya Uvacha Athadikshata Rajatu हयमेधशतेन सह ब्रह्मावर्ते मनोः क्षेत्रे यत्र प्राची सरस्वती मैत्रेय उवाच अथादीक्षत राजा तु हयमेधशतेन सह ब्रह्मावर्ते मनोः क्षेत्रे यत्र प्राची सरस्वती हयमेधशतेन सह ब्रह्मावर्ते मनोक्षेत्रे यत्र प्राची सरस्वती मैत्रेय उवाच अथादीक्षत राजा तु हयमेधशतेन सह ब्रह्मावर्ते मनोक्षेत्रे यत्र प्राची सरस्वती मैत्रेय उवाच अथादीक्षत राजा तु हयमेधशतेन सह ब्रह्मावर्ते मनोक्षेत्रे यत्र प्राची सरस्वती. Mataji. Maitreya Uvacha. The sage Maitreya said, Atha, thereafter, Adikshata took initiation. Raja, the king, to then hire horse, Medha, sacrifices, Shatena, to perform 100. Saha, he, Brahmavarte, known as Brahmavarta, Manoho, of Swayambhuva Manu, Kshetre, in the land, Yatra, where, Prachi, eastern, Saraswati, the river named Saraswati. Translation, the great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, King Prithu initiated the performance of 100 horse sacrifices at the spot where the river Saraswati flows towards the east. This piece of land is known as Brahmavarta and it was controlled by Swayambhuva Manu. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki, Shri Shri Jagannath Bala Subhadra Maharani ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki. Tadavipreetya Bhagavan Karmatishayam Atmanah Shatakraturnamamrishe Prutor Yajñamahotsavam. When the most powerful Indra, the king of heaven, saw this, he considered the fact that King Prithu was going to exceed him in fruitive activities. Thus, Indra could not tolerate the great sacrificial ceremonies performed by King Prithu, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. In the material world, everyone who comes to enjoy himself or lord it over material nature is envious of others. This envy is also found in the personality of the King of Heaven, Indra. As evident from revealed scriptures, Indra was several times envious of many persons. He was especially envious of great fruitive activities and the execution of yoga practices or siddhis. Indeed, he could not tolerate them and he desired to break them up. He was envious due to fear that those who performed great sacrifices for the execution of mystic yoga might occupy his seat. Since no one in this material world can tolerate another's advancement, everyone in the material world is called Matsara, envious. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is therefore said that Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for those who are completely nirmatsara, non-envious. In other words, One who is not free from the contamination of envy cannot advance in Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, however, if someone excels another person, the devotee who is excelled thinks how fortunate the other person is to be advancing in devotional service. Such non envy is typical of Vaikuntha. However, when one is envious of his competitor, that is material. The demigods posted in the material world are not exempt from envy. So, a new chapter has begun now today. It's a very, very important chapter of uh, Indra versus Prithu. How Prithu initiated a fire sacrifice. 100 sacrifices he did. 99 he completed, and the 100th one is about to begin now. At that time, Indra is becoming insecure, seeing that somebody is going to excel him or exceed him or become equal to him. And Prabhupada is devoting this whole purport to the point that in the material world, when people look at others' progress, uh, they can behave in two ways with two different attitudes. One attitude is, oh, how wonderful the devotee is doing. So I can get inspired by the devotee to do my services better. That is ideal. But to look at another devotee doing better, if one feels insecure that he will get the glorification and I will be neglected, attention of the people will go towards him. So then feeling some disturbance or inability to tolerate, it's called para utkarsha sahanam, inability to tolerate the progress of others. That is actually called envy. Precisely that is what is being elaborated here. Inability to tolerate the glorification of others. I was reading one section of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam where Nanda Baba saw that Trinavarta had taken away Krishna and Krishna caught hold of Trinavarta's neck. And because Krishna actually wanted to have a joy ride up in the sky watching the whole aerial view of Vrindavan. Because always Mother Yashoda was not leaving him, keeping him on her lap, keeping him at the Nanda Bhavan, Yashoda Bhavan. He thought that let me also see all Vijayabasis in one shot. Like you get in our Google map from the top aerial view. Krishna wanted to get that type of view. So he took help of Trinavarta for that purpose. Trinavarta was a whirlwind demon. Zoom, 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 zoom. He took him up in the sky. From there, when Krishna saw, he was really enjoying the sight of Vrindavan. Suddenly, he remembered that if Mother Yashoda comes out of the kitchen, she will find me missing. And she's going to be broken-hearted. She'll be shattered. She'll be burst into tears. And I have to be present immediately there. Not only Yashoda, all other elderly gopis also. Thinking like that, he was wondering how this demon is going on, taking me up, 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 up. Now let me bring him down. So Krishna had become as light as a feather while going up. But now he became as heavy as a mountain, catching hold of his neck and crashing him down to the ground. So Trinavarta crashed on a slab and all his bones broke into pieces. But Krishna did not get even a scratch. At that time, Nanda Baba and all covered men, they came forward and picked up the child and gave to Yashoda. And everybody was inspecting whether there is any scratch marks in Krishna's body, and everything was perfectly fine. There was no problem. Nanda Baba was telling the sinful demon died by his own sins, whereas our child is a virtuous child, so he didn't get even a scratch. He was telling. At that time, Nanda Baba felt that my son has to be blessed by some special brahmanas. So he called for special brahmanas. I will show you the verse. So in the 10th canto, there is one verse which talks about those special type of brahmana. See, these are the special brahmanas. What are the qualifications you see here? This is 10.7.13. Ye, those Brahmanas, they have to be free from 6 things he's telling. What are they? Asuya, envy. Anrata means untruthfulness. That means they should not speak lies. Dambha, they should be free from false pride. Irsha, they should be free from grudge. Any type of grudges towards anybody. Sometimes people maintain grudge, he spoke like this to me. Now when the opportunity comes, I will also show my power. That is called grudge, we call it. Or damba means false pride arising from one's scholarship or one's fame. False pride. And himsa means being disturbed by the opulence of others. See? Then one causes himsa to others, being disturbed by the opulences of others. That means one makes an effort to pull the leg of somebody, not able to tolerate their glory. That's all himsa. And mana means false prestige. Vivarjitaha, they were completely devoid of these things. Ye, asuya, anrada, dambha, irsha, himsa, mana vivarjitaha, he says. If a Brahmana has these 6 qualities, isn't it? That is, he is free from envy, untruthfulness, false pride, grudges, and getting disturbed with the opulence of others, and false prestige. If he is free from these 6 bad qualities, then what is the power of that Brahman? He is saying, Na tesham satyashilanam ashisha vifalakritaha. He is saying, if such a Brahmana blesses a child, that blessing will bear fruition, or it will bear fruit. If like people come and seek blessings, right? No. Now, who has the right to give blessings? We have to endeavor for these type of qualities. If we possess these qualities, the more we possess these qualities, the more our blessings will take effect. That means we should be free from envy, untruthfulness, false pride, grudges, and we should not be disturbed by the opulence of others, and freedom from false prestige. So these are the type of Brahmanas he got. And then those Brahmanas blessed Krishna. That was Nanda Baba's program. Let Krishna be blessed by such powerful Brahmins, and then they will do the needful. That type of thing. So, therefore, here he is talking about, the wrong attitude of Indra in this verse. When the most powerful Indra, king of heaven, saw Prithu Maharaj approaching 100 sacrifice, he considered the fact that King Prithu was going to exceed him in spiritual activities. As Indra could not tolerate the great sacrificial ceremonies performed by King Prithu, he says. One time my spiritual master was speaking on this topic. He was telling, Indra is a champion of excellence and Prithu Maharaj is a champion of character. He was telling. So what do you want to be in this world? You want to be a champion of character or champion of excellence? Sometimes to show our excellence, we may take a shortcut or we may take a wrong route. In those days, some few decades ago, there was one Ben Johnson in his sprint. Sprint means 100-meter race. In that, he had taken some steroids. So he came first. See, when he came first, he was glorified so much. But then very soon they found that he had taken steroids. Immediately his name was finished. And of course, he was also victimized, punished also for that cheating. So you will see that shortcuts can bring us instant success, but a long-term failure and shame upon us when we take shortcuts. So here Indra is trying for a shortcut. He's trying to take a shortcut to do some cheating. So that will be exposed over a period of time. So because he was only focusing his eye on, excellence, how I can keep everyone one step below me and not allow them to become equal to me or get ahead of me. And that is actually called envy. You see, there is another word called jealousy, which is called jealousy is little more milder compared to envy. Jealousy means, oh, you got a beautiful car. It's a costly one. I also would like to have it. I have a small one, but when I get richer, I will also buy a car like you. To feel like this is called jealousy. Envy means how a fool like you can have this car. You know, you don't deserve it. In school days, you are a muff, and you got this costly car, and I couldn't get this. Uh, that is what Duryodhana thought about Pandavas. He asked his uncle, Uncle, you are saying that you can also arrange for a festival where people will gift me nice things, like the way Yudhishthira Maharaj got in Rajasuya. That's not the point, uncle. He said, you don't understand me. How can a person in this world, remain happy while seeing his enemies prosper? He said. That means his problem is not that he want to flourish in life. His problem is he doesn't want to see his enemies prosper. He has to put down his enemies. That is actually called para utkarsha asahanam. I told you the definition of Sridhara Swami, which is trying to make sure that just like the crabs, they are not concerned about getting out of the basket. What is the goal of the crab? Pull other crabs down. Make sure even if there are 2 dozen crabs, keep on pulling one there, pull here, pull here. Nobody should get out. That is crab's business. He will not try to come out himself. You can see that. So this mentality arises from something called insecurity. 3 words are connected: competition, insecurity, and envy. And how are they different? Competition means, Prabhupada says in 1.1.2, he says, Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayon moolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kimba Pare Rishwaraha Sadyo Hridiya Varudratetra Kritubihi Sushrushabhistakshanat. In this verse, purport, Prabhupada quotes that in this world, between a man and man, family and family, one country and another country, there is always Cold War going on. Everybody is within the mind thinking about what about the other people? What are they doing? So this kind of feelings of malice and animosity towards one another is there in the material platform. Prabhupada explains. So the material platform means platform of animal instincts, and divine platform means one sees from a spiritual angle, a spiritual point of view. So Prabhupada explains both the platforms in that purport. He says material world is a place of competition, spiritual world is a competition-less society, Prabhupada says, with Krishna in the center and everyone and everything revolves around him. Just like if you take a compass and draw multiple circles with one center, there is no clash. So spiritual world is such a world, Prabhupada says. So in the material world, there are clashes. So now as practicing devotees, we are not exception to this kind of ill feelings, at least in one's mind. One may not speak or one may not act sometimes. So it is very important for us to detect this disease in our minds and then make some arrangement by which this disease can be uprooted so that you can feel the bliss of Krishna consciousness, susukam kartum avyayam, when we are engaged in devotion service. And by that higher taste, eventually drive out all the other anarthas and go back to Godhead. So I made a PowerPoint. This PowerPoint I'm going to show you is so lucid. It is so simple with a couple of acronyms only. If you remember this couple of acronyms, you will get some pointers for self-application in your life. And these acronyms are easy to remember. At the end of this talk, you will take it home with you. And you can keep murmuring it, remembering it. Okay, these are the points I should focus on in my life. So that's how it is made. It's very easy to remember. So I'm calling it as the practical tips to overcome envy. Who is this on the right side? Mantra speaking to Kaikeyi and inducing envy in Kaikeyi. You can see that. Similarly, on the left side, you find Indra seeking forgiveness after becoming, Govardhan Leela, below only Chitraketu's wives. When they saw Kritaditi, getting a child and they don't have a child. So they are all envious, talking with one another, like that. So some examples of envy have been shown here. So first you can remember this. When envy arises in our mind, 2 things we should do first. Focus on good of others and not faults. Actually, when we focus on faults of others, when we find that everybody is glorifying a devotee, we say, wait a minute, you guys don't know the whole picture. This devotee, you are saying he did this, but he also has this problem. He also has that problem. Why don't you see that? See, I am seeing from a overall perspective, you guys are one-sided. You don't get the full picture. Like that people say and they find fault, just like Ramachandra Puri found fault with even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Correct, no? So, therefore, the first point said is focus on the good of a devotee and not the faults of a devotee. And the second point said is be aware of the danger of fault finding. Okay, what is the danger of fault finding? It can lead to blasphemy. See, fault finding arises from dislike and blasphemy arises from hatred. So, which is more dangerous, dislike or hatred? Hatred. So, dislike is mild, hatred is very serious one. See, anger also has varying degrees. Initially, you become disturbed by somebody. Then you become agitated by somebody. Then you become angry with somebody. Then you develop resentment, we call it. And the fourth degree anger is called hatred, which is resentment. So we should not allow our disturbance to turn into agitation and anger and resentment with anybody in this world. It's very polluting to the mind and body, especially the anger. Actually, our anger can be transmitted from the mind to the words. We may speak malediction, improper words by becoming too angry with somebody. Then it can be transmitted to the senses also. We may lift the hand when we become angry. Or we may end up slapping somebody, or catch their collar, or we may kick somebody. So in this way, the anger can be transmitted from mind to the words to the body eventually. So therefore, one should not allow fault finding to go to the blasphemy stage, because fault finding also is bad, but blasphemy is even more dangerous. So we should be aware of the danger. So how can we become aware of the danger of fault finding? Repeatedly by hearing the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and dealing with his devotees, and reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Daksha Prajapati was finding fault in Lord Shiva. End result was he got a goat head, isn't it? And Amogha was finding fault with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's eating too much prasad. And the end result was he got cholera and suffered terribly. Gopal Chakravarti was finding fault in the most innocent personality, Srivas Thakur, for no good reason at all, just out of sheer envy. And the result was he suffered from Kushtrog, leprosy. He suffered from leprosy. And Gopal Chakravarti found fault with the glorification of the holy name made by Namacharya, Haridas Thakur. Result was his nose melted away. You will see that. So one thing we all can be convinced in our mind, that unnecessary fault finding in Vaishnavas has never done any good anywhere. So if it doesn't do good, then why should I take that route? Correct, no? If it has done some good somewhere, then we may consider also pros and cons. There is only cons. There is no pros at all. There is no advantage. Therefore, only the spiritual guardians have the right to find fault with their dependents. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, if you are in a position where somebody has accepted you as a mentor or somebody has hired you, then you may find fault and you may tell them that please don't do this, is not good for you, out of well-wishing heart. Like Prabhupada would correct disciples sometimes out of a well-wishing heart, like a mother's heart for a child. Then the correction is meaningful. Otherwise, unnecessary fault finding is no good. Even if you see some glaring fault, if you are going and reporting to the authority, it's not considered fault finding, because you are interested in seeing it rectified, not just perpetuating the bad name of the devotee. So these are first two things. Focus on good, not false, and be aware of the danger of fault finding. And the next two, try to uplift the people in whom you are seeing fault, if you can. And if you cannot uplift them, then leave it to Krishna. Either you uplift if you can. If you cannot uplift, you leave it to Krishna and proceed. Unnecessarily don't talk ill of them. Actually, there are three types of people in this world: uplifting people, neutral people, discouraging people. So Ramachandra Puri was which category? Discouraging. Ramachandra Puri. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would glorify as if he had five mouths. So he was uplifting everybody. uplifting the spirits of Namacharya Haridas Thakur, uplifting Rupa Goswami's spirit. Everybody, he brought everybody to Jagannath Puri and got them all blessed. Like Rupa Goswami was blessed by Ramananda Rai and Sarvabhattacharya and Swarup Damodar. He brought the best of the great personalities to Siddhabakul one day. And I asked all of them to bless Rupa Goswami before he left. He was sent for Vrindavan, his assignment of fulfilling Lord Chaitanya's instructions. So Mahaprabhu personally also blessed, personally glorified, and asked other Vaishnavas to bless also. So Mahaprabhu's nature is very auspiciousness producing. It's very speech, behavior, action, everything. So by repeatedly reciting Mahaprabhu's pastimes, we will develop that kind of nature also. So that's uplifting nature. And sometimes you find something in a devotee, you can pray to Krishna for the devotee and leave it to Krishna. See, that devotee has been told not to do this, but still the devotee is doing the same mistake again and again. So what can be done? His spiritual guardian has instructed him. He is still not listening. Now when I go to see the deities, I will pray for the devotee and leave it to Krishna ultimately. That is leaving it to Krishna. The last one is tolerate the envy because he is enjoying his punya and blessings of Guru. Sometimes a person has done a lot of punya in the previous life. So there is fame in his account. You will see sometimes a less qualified person is far more famous than a highly qualified person who is not so famous. You see that. I personally have seen many people like that. There are people who actually are very sharp and very intelligent. They somehow or other, they never knew that something called IIT existed. They never knew about it. They just studied in any average college. But later on, they have influenced big intellectuals in India and all over the world. So you will see that. So on the other hand, there are mediocre sometimes making it up to the top many times. So therefore, one should know that there is something to do with previous life. Purva janma arjita punyam agre dhavati dhavati. Prabhupada writes in one purport. Purva janma arjita punyam means the punya you accumulated in the previous life comes in the next life. And like for example, ask yourself, some of the children born in a very rich family, 40,000 crores, 50,000 crores family, as soon as they opened their eyes, they became owner of 50,000 crores. What did they do in this life? They haven't done anything. It is definitely some punya in the previous life. They are born in an aristocratic family. On the other hand, some other child is born in a slum. His parents have no place to live. They're living near a gutter in some hut or something, jopdipati, like a slum, like that. So, therefore, you will see that if somebody is becoming popular, famous, or some people in the same manner, you will see they are paid attention by many people. Many people click photos, many people welcome them, garland them. And one feels, what is so special about that person and what is lacking in me? One may think like that. Because that person has carrying some punya, he has done the homework. Just like in a company, you will see, sometimes a person, in 1 month, he has done some 30, 40 extra hours of work. So he is given incentive at the end of the month. Whereas I haven't done that type of extra hours of work, I will miss that incentive. I will only get regular salary. Correct, no? So by thinking like this, then our envy for that other person can be mitigated. Okay, he has done some homework and come, which I didn't do. You can think like that. Another one is blessings of Guru. By blessings of Guru in this world, any commoner can become a superhuman. There is one a word in Sanskrit called Purushakara and Daiva. See, Purushakara means what you can achieve by your own ability. Daiva means what you can achieve by Krishna's blessings, Guru's blessings, and Vaishnava's blessings. So we can do miracles by the blessings of Guru. So if our ability is 1 count, the blessings is like 1,000 count. So that's another reason why somebody is greatly blessed to do. Like Srila Prabhupada was blessed by his Guru. Hanuman was blessed to find out Sita. Arjuna was blessed by Krishna's empowerment to emerge victorious in Battle of Kurukshetra, defeating even Bhishma and Drona and such great personalities. Naivam vida purushakara urakramasya pumsam tadangri rajasat jitashad gunanam chitram vidura vigataha sagradadadita Yannamade yamaduna sajahati bandham. This verse talks about Prevrat Maharaj, how he was greatly empowered. And this verse says that a chanter of the holy name, even a Chandala can become better than a Brahmana by chanting the holy name. Such is the empowerment holy name can give, it says. So, Krishna Shakti Vinanahi Tarapavartan, Prabhupada used to quote that. So, a person gets Krishna Shakti by the blessings of Hari Guru and Vaishnavas. He has become blessed, he is doing something wonderful, we should not envy. Like Prabhupada had god brothers, like His Holiness Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. One time when Prabhupada returned to India, he told his disciples that when I go from Calcutta to Mayapur, I want to go and meet my dear god brother, His Holiness, His Divine Grace, Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. So when Prabhupada reached Mayapur, two groups of brahmacharis came to receive him. One group came from Prabhupada's sannyas guru, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj's Matha. They had come. The another group of brahmacharis had come from His Divine Grace, Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj's Mat. They had come also. So Prabhupada told them, okay, today evening I'll spend with Sridhar Maharaj and tomorrow morning I'll come to that place. They agreed. So one group took Prabhupada. So it was actually getting dark in the evening. So when Prabhupada came, Bhakti Sridhar Maharaj was up in the rooftop. So Prabhupada climbed up and went. It was almost like 7 o'clock, moonlit night. Along with Prabhupada was His Holiness Kirtanand Swami and Achyutanand Swami. His Holiness Achyutanand Swami. Both of them were there. So they looked at His Holiness, His Divine Grace Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. When he saw Prabhupada, he embraced him. He had a beaming smile on his face. He said that I am so proud of you. He said, you have fulfilled the desires of our spiritual master to take the message of Lord Chaitanya to the Western world. You have done it so successfully. And when I look at your two disciples who have come with you, these Western-bodied disciples, I can tell you, he told both of them, you will do wonders in India. Indians have a great admiration for Americans. And you Americans have come to the point of dedicating your life to Lord Chaitanya's mission. You have a very bright future ahead of you. He encouraged them, praised them, and he was listing so many glories of Prabhupada one after another. So Kirtanand Swami was noting down everything, and immediately he sent message all over the world to Prabhupada's disciples. Here I am seeing two god brothers completely non-envious of each other. You can see Prabhupada wanted to invite His Divine Grace Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj to America because he was a very, very learned scholar in Sanskrit. His writings are considered very extraordinary. So much so that even his guru named him as Bhakti Rakshak, which means he called him as a protector of the path of bhakti. But he was very shy. He wouldn't go out of India. He didn't want to go. So but Prabhupada said, he is more qualified than me, Prabhupada said. He is very, very learned in Sanskrit. Many of us, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's disciples, would turn to him for certain conclusions and certain confirming some conclusions. He is a very deeply learned personality. So this kind of glorification Prabhupada had for Bhakti Sridhar Maharaj. Bhakti Sridhar Maharaj was appreciating that you are glorifying me. I am just sitting in the Mata here and you went to America and you did so much and you are bringing so much. Surely Guru Maharaj has blessed you. Krishna Shakti Vinanahi Tara Pravartan. Like that he was telling. So here is an example of how two great Vaishnavas can be completely non-envious. So you can remember this formula. Focus on good of others, not false. Be aware of the danger of offending. Uplift them. And if you cannot uplift them, then just leave it to Krishna. Krishna will take care. We don't have to worry too much about others. Let us worry about ourselves. So actually, on worrying about ourselves, one devotee taught me a very nice formula some years ago. He said, myopsis Thor. That's the formula. Myopsis means mind your own business. That's myop. Mind your own business. Sis is save yourself. Sis. Thor is then help others reform. You'll remember this easy. 3-point formula. What is it? Mind your own business. Save yourself. Then help others reform. Myopsis Thor. It's like a sutra. Isn't it? So, in this way, focusing on ourselves, we can easily give up envy. Actually, our attention should be on our service, not on what others are possessing. Unfortunately, we take our attention away from our service and see what others are possessing. That's where the envy starts. Huh? Like Indra should do his service, right now. He is given the post of Indra, he should do his service. Huh? Because Indra, was he focusing on his service or was he looking at Prithu? Not only Prithu, his eyes are everywhere. He's putting radars everywhere to check which sage is where, what is he doing, everywhere. Attention, everything other than one's service. So, what is the principle of this envy? Just a minute. Actually, the envy is originally for Krishna. You will see that. Like Shishupal is having envy for Krishna. Then a jiva comes to this world. He says, Icha and Dvesh, two things he says. Icha means independent desire from Krishna. Dvesh means envy for Krishna. Actually, anyone who possesses any of the opulences of Krishna in minute proportion like this, immediately envy arises in a person's mind. So now the next slide is going to show you, what are the things for which you become envious. Here is like a secret is captured and revealed in one slide. You will see that. It will come now. The next slide. So basic principle is why him, why not me? That's the question. See? We have to clearly estimate where the envy is coming from. You can remember this fear glorification formula. What is fear? Somebody gets facilities. He got gifts. He got car. Sometimes people get a big gift, isn't it? After the marathon we give, somebody gets this much gift, somebody gets this gift. They look at their gift, our gift. What they got, they compare the gifts. Or some devotee is gifted a car or a bungalow or given a separate office, independent cabin or something. Cabin may be small also, 5 by 5. Still, it's considered as independent cabin. Still, one may be thinking that, he's given all these facilities. So, facility is something which produces envy. Another thing that produces envy is enjoyment. He got success in this and he success in that and success after success and he's enjoying, he's floating in success. And I am floating in misery. Like that, one thinks like that. And attention of Guru or getting some rewards from Guru or great Vaishnavas. If somebody is getting some medal or rewards or special extraordinary achievement. So, actually, when somebody succeeds, people may ask, how did you do that? They will ask. And then they will explain, this is what I did. And then they will find some loophole in that. And then they will go and tell others, hey, he says he got the first, but I know how he got first. These are the loopholes they will say. So, therefore, the attention and rewards go to somebody, one cannot tolerate. And then getting responsibility, some post or some position. Because when you get a post or position, you can influence others. Correct, no? So, you get a chance to control others. People cannot take it. And glorification. So, it's called fear, glorification. Popularity of fame. This is very subtle one, popularity. Very fine one because it is puja, labha, pratishtha, we say. It's a very fine one. So, these are the places from where the envy arises. Now, take any envy example, you will see this, it will have connection somewhere. Amoga said, Lord Chaitanya is enjoying food. It's the second one he thought. He is enjoying so much food, he was telling. Now, if you take Kaikeyi, she was envious because of the responsibility, post, which was coming to whom? Lord Ramachandra. She could not take it. Now, Chitraketu's wives, what were they? Where was their problem? Anybody? Attention. Who was getting attention? Kirtaditi was getting attention. They were not getting attention. You name example. Now, Indra versus Prithu. What is the problem in this? Post. Indra thought, I will lose my post and Prithu will be posted in my place. I will be thrown out. He thought like that. Responsibility. You name an envy example. And now Daksha Prajapati. What was his envy? What was the root? Popularity, fame. Is it? Actually, he was not given respect. He was anticipating attention. That is also attention. Because everybody was attentive to get up and offer obeisances to him. When Shiva, he thought Shiva is not paying attention to me. He's neglecting me. It's like false prestige, we call it. He had the false prestige. Hmm. Yeah. Any other example of envy that somebody got gifts or car or bungalow office? Somebody became envious? Dhruva. Huh? Dhruva actually thought that my brother is allowed to sit on father's lap and I am not allowed to sit. Initially, there was some malaise which was cleared by his mother's preachings after that. It's a kingdom, big kingdom, better than his father. So in this way, you go to the Shastra, you will find some connection in this. So F for facilities, E for, A for, and R for, yeah, G for glorification. So fear, glorification. So what to do with these five, we will see now. First one, see, attention. So this fellow is feeling very bad. My boss is paying attention, not to me, only to the other fellow. So what to do when somebody else is getting attention? So we can think like this. He deserves it because he has done something wonderful. Therefore, he's getting attention. Like somebody has done some very special service, they may get appreciation, attention. Or Guru has blessed him, especially for he put sincere efforts. Like that we can think like this. Or I am being tested for my envy. That is another way we can think also. I should not feel bad. See here. What's the sutra? Rather than being focused on getting attention to myself, I can focus on giving attention to our service. What will happen if you take your eyes away from him and put it on your service? What happens? Service will go well because we get more time for service. Isn't it? Therefore, parasvabhava karmani yah prashansati nindati sahyashu brashyate swarthat asati abhiniveshataha. This is 11th canto verse. It is said, para swabhava and karma. Don't talk about others' swabhava, nature, and karma, activities. He says two things. If you do that, sahyashu brashyate swartat, you will lose the ultimate goal of life. Because your mind will become asatya abhiniveshataha. Mind will become absorbed in asat, temporary things. He is good, he is bad, she is good, she is bad. Keep on comparing people's activities and qualities. We will become stooped in material ignorance and we will miss the ticket back to Godhead, the flight back to Godhead. So he says, if you really want to go back to Godhead, take your mind away from dualities of good, bad, sukha, dukkha, shita, ushna. Take away from dualities. Absorb in chanting the holy name, meditating on the beautiful form of the deity, and doing your service, what Guru and Krishna have given you. Put your attention there. Once when I asked my Guru Maharaj many years ago, that some faults are very glaring. When we just come somewhere, we see that in our eyes. So he said, don't keep your eyes so wide open, he said. Keep it half closed, he said. Therefore, yogis are half closed. So yogi does half closure for meditation purpose. You close it half for avoiding fault finding, isn't it? Then when I tried half closing, I was saved from so much fault finding by that. And also, of course, not only keep eyes half closed, withdraw also a little bit from that kind of observing faults very attentively. Instead, in America, when you were traveling, I heard one very famous seminar was going on, glory of fault finding. I was wondering, really? It's glorious. Then I came to know that glory of fault finding in oneself. How glorious it is to find. That's what he says. Amar jivan sada paperat nahi ko punyera lesha parere udvega diyachi ye koto diyachi jivera klesha. Like the Bhaktivinoda Thakur is teaching us how to find fault with ourselves. That is glorious. So, two things we can pay attention to. Attention to either seva or attention to finding fault with oneself. And two things we should give up. Not looking at others' faults and not comparing what I have and what they have. Unhealthy comparison. These two things we should give up. So, that is the first one about attention. Okay. Second one, responsibility. See, here two brahmacharis joined at the same time. One brahmachari is made a project director. See on the left side. And many engineers and big people are coming and taking notes from him. Another devotee is given another service of painting service. So now, who may feel little inferiority complex because they both are from the same college and they've joined at the same time. The painter may think nobody looks at me, and once in a while Guru Maharaj may come and see my painting. But my friend is a project director, hundreds of people are working with him. One may think like that. So what to do when such mindset comes? See here. His talent qualifies him for what he has, and my talent does so for. And so who am I? I am an artist. So what is the best thing artist can do? Painting, drawing. So I am given the service which fits my talent. And he actually is very smart in organizing, because you all will see that when we all join at the same time, some people are very good in organizing, managing, monitoring, controlling, this kind of thing. And some people are more into aesthetic things. Actually, you may be studying in organizational behavior about 6 caps, we call it. There is a blue cap who is a very good leader of the group. There's a white cap who is a very good information collector. There is a yellow cap who is a very good a positive supporter of the team. There's a black cap who always will tell what are the problems, how something will not work, he can tell you. Black cap like that. Red cap is emotional, intuitive. So there are 6 caps like that. So yeah, that means everybody has different kinds of, what do you call it? Mindset. God has created us all differently, just like these 5 fingers. Somebody may say, why these 5 fingers are different? Cut them all to same size. Would you say that? Every finger is meant for a different purpose. One finger is for wearing the ring. Another finger is for pointing finger. Is it not true? One is for encouragement or challenge or something. So God has made us all differently, that we should know. Therefore, we are made differently, and his talent is used for becoming a project director. If both of us have the same talent, and if he is better, okay, somebody may say, no, I can also manage, I can also organize. If somebody says, even though we may be talented, but 2 talented people, out of them, one may be little more better than the other. You agree? Then, for example, Radha Madan Mohan. Who will dress Radha Madan Mohan on a festival day? So, our head pujari may choose a devotee, whom he feels can dress best. It's not that other pujaris cannot dress. They can also dress very well. But amongst them, somebody may be able to do something little extra special. They may be given. Similarly, if both of us have the same talent, and I feel I am better, still I am not given chance. Somebody may say, see, he is inferior, I am better, still I am not given. Because we are not trustworthy or reliable sometimes. Because we take service and we don't give it, complete it on time. You all have experience of this? We promise that I will finish, but we don't finish. Whereas the other person, even though his quality may be a little inferior, he has delivery promise. Therefore, they have chosen him. That is also possible. Which means there are so many variables are there, you can see. Therefore, one should not compare in an unhealthy way. There may be multiple parameters. Sometimes if you are feeling too envious, go to the authorities and ask directly, Prabhuji, we both know the same service. Why you are giving him and not me? What is the reason? And they give you clarification, then your mind will be clear. See, it's not me or him, it is who can do it better. See, the 2 brothers, one is carrying a bigger box, another one carrying. So if the small boy thinks, why my brother is carrying big one, why not me? But you cannot carry my child. If you carry, you will get a spondylitis in your neck. Therefore, your bigger brother is given that. Correct, no? Somebody can do the same service better, they can take that. Okay, then facilities and enjoyment. Why I am given only Luna and he is given car? Somebody may ask. See, he is going to meet some life members and make life patrons. Yeah, he needs a car. And you have to just go to market and fetch something, and Luna is good enough for us. Not that you are inferior because Luna is given to you. Actually, it's based on seva. What seva you are expected to do. Krishna wants him to have it because he's using it properly. He deserves it because of his services and sacrifices. Things like that. He can handle it, I can't handle it. Which means sometimes we get some facility, we become proud. So our authorities may not give us those facilities. Like for example, say one fellow is very eager for giving Sunday fees. So he went to his authority and said, see, last 1 year I am asking, you are not giving me Sunday fees lecture. So the authority told him, when you stop asking this question, we will give you opportunity. That means that time you have become detached. Now you are too attached. So therefore, he is unable to handle that position, so he is not being given that facility and enjoyment. So what is the sutra? We must learn how to use what we have been given already in service to Krishna before wanting to get what others have. This is a very important point. We all can look at what we have with us, what Lord has given us. Are we using it best? How many of you feel that there are many things Krishna has given us, we are not taking full advantage, honestly? Yeah, I can say that. I have so many books. I have more than 200 books with me in Pune. Best of the collections is only Bhanu Maharaj. So many books are collected and kept. Sometimes I feel guilty that I'm not able to read all of them. I wish I can have a magic by which I can carry all books with me when I'm going. Of course, I can read in my computer also, but I like to read hard copy books. Similarly, if you think about it, many things Krishna has given us, we are not using them best. Let's first try to use them well. Hmm? And glorification. Like Prabhupada would glorify some specific devotee sometimes, like Brahmananda Prabhu or sometimes Jayananda Prabhu in certain occasions. Prabhupada says, look at Jayananda. He is dancing like Lord Chaitanya. Prabhupada would glorify. So, yeah, he deserves the praise because Jayananda Prabhu's attitude is so great. He deserves that praise. We can think like that. Or I'll be purified by hearing about his glories and by praising him. Correct, huh? Sometimes when two people went, His Grace Burijan Prabhu, along with him one more went to New Vrindavan to meet Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was talking to both of them. Afterwards, they both left. And Prabhupada called from the upper building. He sent one devotee to bring them back to me. They brought them back. So Prabhupada removed his garland and gave it to the devotee other than Burijan Prabhu. So Burijan Prabhu was thinking, why he gave it to him and not me? Like that he felt in his mind. He was telling, he wrote in his book, I wish Prabhupada gave me, I gave a donation, Prabhupada appreciated. But then when it came to giving garland, he gave it to the other devotee he gave. And then 2-3 months later, the devotee had left. And then His Grace Burijan Prabhu understood that actually Prabhupada could foresee that he is weak in spiritual life. Therefore, he gave him garland. But that devotee didn't take advantage of the mercy which came to him. So he was telling that, Guru, why is he doing what is he doing? It's very difficult for us to interpret. Because Krishna is actually conducting him, guiding him what to do. So we should never feel bad about Guru glorifying another devotee. Why is he glorifying? And also, when he is, Krishna will be pleased by hearing the glories of the devotees. So he's being glorified. Let me not feel bad. If even Krishna feels happy, why should I feel bad? By hearing devotees' glorification. So sutra is being happy, hearing others being glorified or seeing others receive mercy is the proof that we are making spiritual progress. If you are not feeling so good, that means the disease is still there. So the last point here, what should we neglect? Neglect envy and nurture bhakti. Yeah. If still our heart is burning, what we should do? Water the bhakti creeper and grow it. How do we do that? Take our attention away from other Vaishnavas because of our disease is really spoiled, very, very bad disease that anybody we look at, we find fault with them, we are envious of them, they withdraw. There was one Mataji who was told by her spiritual master, you are too sharp in finding fault in others. You go to Vrindavan and constantly chant. Don't stop chanting, she was told. So 2-3 years she was chanting constantly all day. Then that offensive mentality went away after that. So therefore we should nurture our bhakti creeper by paying attention to our own devotional service, 64 principles given by Rupa Goswami. And neglect our envy. Take away our attention. How to neglect? No backbiting, no sweet talking on face, bad mouthing on back, no criticism, no politics. Never wish ill for the person. Pray for the prosperity of other devotees. Glorify him. These are things practical. These are actually very, very practical. We can observe ourselves. Am I criticizing somebody? Am I backbiting somebody? Am I doing political game? Am I subtly criticizing somebody? Sometimes even in glorification, we can subtly criticize sometimes. And we can pray for his prosperity and glorify him. And serve him is too much. Serving may be difficult, but if you can serve, it's even more wonderful. So what is the best antidote for envy? Not listen to what mind dictates us to do, but do what Guru and Krishna is telling us to do. That's what we are learning here. And lastly, vigilance. Be very vigilant, like a policeman is vigilant about thief. Similarly, be watchful and vigilant by reflecting on the effects of envy. Actually, the best way to give up any bad habit is to focus attention on the consequences of that bad habit. So like most of the drunkards and chain smokers, they don't think about the consequences. Like you heard about smoking, somebody said the smokers have a special advantage, 3 advantages they have, you know that? One is, it is said that no thief will come to their house because they will be coughing constantly. If a thief hears somebody coughing, he will run away. He will not come to their house. It is said, and also it is said they don't have to fear dogs. It is said, why? Because they will very soon have to have a stick to walk, and if a dog comes, they can drive it away. And because of the too much of tobacco taking, like that. So what is the third advantage? Something similar. And they don't have to worry about their future because they'll die before only. It is said by cancer. So the idea is, once you think of these kind of consequences of smoking, drinking, same manner our envy, where is it leading people to? I told you 5, 6 examples of envy today. So where is my envy leading me to? One should think about the consequences. So we can never relax in Krishna consciousness. Therefore it is said, be cautious of Maya and conscious of Krishna. Jadabharat was cautious of Maya. Prahlad was conscious of Krishna. Yeah, and Yan means pray. Pray and beg. We should beg Krishna, please bless me. Can give up this disease. Not let. And work on it, and then you will make it. Srila Prabhupada ki, Sarvakta Vrinda ki. Thank you very much.